Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia. We start off today with the weather. It is partly cloudy with a 40% or a moderate chance of showers, a high of 84 and a low of 70 degrees. Well, Jamie, today I have no props to pull out. I didn't walk with my umbrella.
That's right.
I did not, yeah.
If that is accurate, so let's hope, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, so it's hump day.
Yeah.
Hump day. That makes me think I'm mounting a camel or something. In any event, it's hump day. You know what that means?
Over, yeah.
Over the hump. So the week is not quite almost finished. It's halfway.
Getting there, halfway.
It's about 50% point. So, ready for the weekend?
I guess.
I guess.
It's coming too fast, don't you find?
I think
so.
The
weekend and the days and the months are just going.
I think so.
Just now I'll be saying Merry Christmas, yeah?
Maybe not. If you want, you can try tomorrow. All right, moving on to the latest in local news, and this from the Sunrise Newsroom. On the eve of International Women's Day, the Keon High School brought together successful women in society to share with female fifth form students as part of the school's as part of the school's International Women's Day Girls Mentorship Seminar. The mentorship seminar took the form of a speed dating format where students were able to speak to mentors for approximately 7 minutes before rotating and speaking to another. At the end of the session, each mentor and mentee interacted with 4 persons. Mentees were given the opportunity to ask questions and receive first-hand information and advice from the women present on how to establish themselves as successful young women in society. We will be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize. Apparently, the beginnings are so nice that we had to do it twice. So technical difficulties, but it gives us another opportunity to begin the day afresh with the local news. So this is the latest in local news from the Sunrise Newsroom. On the eve of International Women's Day, the Keon High School brought together successful women in society to share with female fifth form students as part of the school's International Women's Day Girls Mentorship Seminar. The mentorship seminar took the form of a speed dating format where students were able to speak to mentors for approximately 7 minutes before rotating and speaking to another. At the end of the session, each mentor and mentee interacted with 4 persons. Mentees were given the opportunity to ask questions and receive first-hand information and advice from the women present on how to establish themselves as successful young women in society. Program coordinator Dr. Joyal Clark spoke with ZIZ about the initiative, which was initially the brainchild of Kristen Hendrickson of the Department of Youth Empowerment. She spoke of what was expected to be gained from the interactions between mentors and mentees. Mentors were expected to provide words of motivation, and interaction was expected to build new and lifelong connections between mentors and mentees as contact information was exchanged. Dr. Clark said the intention is to make this initiative an annual event with the support of more partnerships. She said it is hoped that this event is implemented in schools across the Federation. Awesome.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. So
yeah,
when I saw it on Facebook, I was like, this is so nice. They get to speed date their mentors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we continue now with our second story. Minister Hamilton praises the resilience of women as St. Kitts and Nevis celebrates International Women's Day. This from SKNIS. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis joined the rest of the world yesterday, Tuesday, March 8, 2022, in observation of International Women's Day under the theme Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. Minister of Social Development and Gender Affairs, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, in his national address to commemorate International Women's Day, spoke to the socio-economic barriers that still exist today that hinders gender equality and the role of single mothers in Caribbean households. Minister Hamilton said, and I quote, "The theme for this year is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow." Countries have also been encouraged to promote the campaign, Team Break the Bias. The theme is timely given the interconnected global economic and environmental challenges of recent times, further exacerbated by the current COVID-19 pandemic, end quote. This year's theme is also aligned with the priority theme of the forthcoming 66th session of the Commission on the Status of Women, which speaks to achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls in the context of climate change, environmental, and disaster risk reduction policies and programs.
How do you feel about that?
Very good. Anything about women?
You said, and I know. All right, we're moving on to the third story. A press release from the press unit in the Office of the Prime Minister, St. Kitts and Nevis. All right, St. Kitts and Nevis has today joined other nations to impose tough international sanctions against Russia and Belarus for the brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. The cabinet of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis voted to replicate and implement in full the sanctions imposed by the European Union, United States, and United Kingdom against hundreds of named Russians and Belarusian individuals and entities. On March 2nd, 2022, St. Kitts and Nevis voted in favor of the UN General Assembly resolution demanding Russia immediately end its military operations in Ukraine. A St. Kitts and Nevis government spokesperson said, quote, "We condemn in the very strongest terms the unlawful aggression of the Russian Federation against the people of Ukraine. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is therefore choosing to implement the devastating and punitive sanctions announced by our Western friends against Russia. We stand with Ukraine and reaffirm our support for free democracies everywhere." So, sanctions imposed there.
Wow. Everybody's sanctioning Russia. I hope they realize that and stop the war.
Your lips to their ears, indeed. We shall see. Are you watching Good Morning SKN? Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We now move on to the latest in regional news. This from Al Jazeera. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said he has agreed on an agenda for further talks with United States officials after meeting a delegation from Washington over the weekend, the first high-level discussions between the two countries in years. President Maduro said in a broadcast on state media on Monday, and I quote, "Last Saturday night, a delegation from the government of the United States of America arrived in Venezuela. I received it here at the Presidential Palace. We had a meeting. I could describe it was respectful, cordial, very diplomatic," he added, end quote. The meeting in the capital, Caracas, lasted 2 hours, he said, without specifying the topics discussed or who the U.S. delegates were. The White House said on Monday the purpose of the trip was to discuss a number of issues, including energy, security, and the cases of 9 U.S. citizens who are in prison in Venezuela. Wow.
Well, moving on to the international scene right now. President Biden to ban Russian oil imports over Ukraine war. This from the Associated Press. President Joe Biden has decided to ban Russia oil imports, toughening the toll on Russia's economy in retaliation for its invasion of Ukraine, according to a person familiar with the matter. The move follows pleas by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to U.S. and Western officials to cut off the imports, which had been a glaring omission in the massive sanctions put in place on Russia over the invasion. Energy exports have kept a steady stream of cash flowing to Russia despite otherwise severe restrictions on its financial sector. The White House said Biden would announce on Tuesday, quote, actions to continue to hold Russia accountable for its unprovoked and unjustified war on Ukraine, end quote. The U.S. will be acting alone, but in close consultation with European allies who are more dependent on Russian energy supplies. The European Union this week will commit to phasing out its reliance on Russia for energy needs as soon as possible, but filling the void without crippling EU economies will likely take some time. Natural gas from Russia accounts for 1/3 of Europe's consumption of fossil fuel. The U.S. does not import Russian natural gas. Well, there you have it for the latest. We'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Though primarily a place of worship, church has long played a prominent role in the development of our characters and our communities. So much so that almost all villages in the Federation have at least one church. Today we are featuring Pastor Lincoln Connor of one of the foundational churches here in St. Kitts and Nevis. That is the Antioch Baptist Church, or ABC. Pastor Connor is here to tell us about the rise of his church here in the Federation. Good morning, Pastor Connor, and welcome to
Good morning.
SKN.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
So I'm going to start first, ladies first. The church started as a Sunday school before it evolved into the beacon that it is known as, the Antioch Baptist Church. Tell us about the start.
Well, the Antioch Baptist Church should have never been, but for God. The original pioneers, of course, Pastor William Connor, now deceased, he had a vision to basically assist boys and girls in the Federation who he thought were lacking in discipline. And so he felt that he wanted to dot the island with Sunday schools. And so he started that in 1949, the first Sunday school in the St. Johnson's Village area. And over the course of the years, the parents got interested in what he was doing. And so they felt that because the kids were so excited about the Sunday school, and they were questioning, then what is there for us? You know, he then felt a greater leading of the Holy Spirit to do something that would incorporate the entire family structure, and hence the Antioch Baptist Church came into existence on the 5th of March in 1963.
Okay. So was the Sunday school held where the original building is?
Well, the Sunday school started where the Dr. William Connor School is now. It was the old grammar school. And then transferred to the Unity Friendly Society Hall just across the street, which is no longer there. It's been demolished since then. And then in 1963, after the church started, they assembled at the Unity Hall for about 3 years and then built their first sanctuary on Infirmary Road in 1966. Yes.
You're taking me down memory lane and aging myself for more than one reason, because I used to see your face just about every day at work. But apart from that, when we talk about the Sunday school, I actually had vivid memories of getting on the bus, I think it was.
Yes, Jamie, you came to Sunday school. Yes. I used to give you some lashes.
Really? What's the penalty? Can I inflict some retribution right now?
No,
not on a pastor.
Forgive.
Not on I love it. And speaking of that, forgiveness, let's talk about the core values of the church. So I'll abbreviate it this way, WWW, because when I read it initially, I thought, wow, this is bringing it into some sort of modern era, so to speak, because the W stand for worship, witness, and works.
That's right.
Let's tell us about that.
Well, of course, worship is the fundamental call of the church, to worship God, a higher creator. And worship is who you are, and not just an act that takes place. And so everything that we do is premised on the sufficiency of the scripture, which calls us back to God, who is ultimately creator and sustainer of all things. And then as a church, there is necessity for us to witness. Having encountered God, then we have to demonstrate that in the world through our witness. And our witness is how we actually live and how we manifest what we believe are those values that we find in the Word of God. And then, of course, works, because faith without works is dead. You have to then reach out and you have to touch people with love and compassion. And hence the particular ministries of the church and the impact from the four walls going out into the communities. So hence you have worship, witness, and works.
I was actually going to ask about that because prior to your definition or explanation of witness, I remember the days, and I'm sure a lot of people who are old enough would remember the days when witnessing encompassed taking a Sunday afternoon or a particular block, going into the community, giving out tracts and doing that sort of thing, interacting with the people in the community. Do you still do that?
Well, that has evolved, but the premise of what you do continues because you still have to reach people. And so there's an evolution. You know, many people are not home anymore. Some people are basically beyond your reach in terms of certain communities and that kind of thing. But you still try to reach them. And I think today, in terms of the demographics that you're trying to reach, that approach might be a little bit antiquated. So hence you have social media and that kind of stuff, which of course does not compensate for the personal interaction, but it has a wider spread and a wider scope. So you just add elements to that type of witness, although you do not completely disregard what you did in the past. Yes.
So what can you tell us about the church's mission and its vision?
Well, the church's mission is to glorify God by knowing Him and making Him known. We believe that ultimately we are supposed to be creating disciples, like little God manifested people, like in the earth. Yeah, so that's the mission. And our vision is to build big people in God, which of course then feeds out of that. Ultimately, we want people to grow and to grow in every facet of their life, because God created us holistic. And so it is not merely about the singing and the reading of the scriptures, but how do you then apply all of that to your overall development in your life, in your family life, in your personal life, in your relationships, in your finances, in your health? All of those things are critically important. So when we talk about the vision of building people, it's building people holistically so that they can come to a place where they recognize that there is no compartmentalization in your life. It's not like you come to church on Sunday and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're a completely different person. But you can take this every single day of your life and it can enhance and improve who you are. Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact that you were having this dialogue. I like the fact that you are, how do I say it without being offensive, because I really don't want to be, but knowing you personally as well, you make that office that you hold even more approachable. It's easier to interact with you. And I know that, not saying that other people have done that, but in the past, the generational thing has been, for me, when you see a pastor, you revere, you stand upright. It's almost like a drill sergeant is in the room, and so you go, okay, boy, gotta be on my P's and Q's. And when we're interacting with you, you're very approachable, you're very down to earth. In terms of what the public says to you, how they interact with you because of your personality, have you thought of that? Have they given you any feedback on that?
Well, the truth is, I remembered many years ago, there was a young man who said to me, I like attending your church, and that's when we were at Infirmary Road. And he said, I come away really challenged and convicted, but not feeling condemned. And I had never thought about it, really, to be honest. And then after he said that, I heard other people saying the same thing. But my focus has always been to appreciate and to understand the life of Christ, because He is the one whom we follow. And for me, I never saw Him in the Word of God as elevating Himself above anybody else. As a matter of fact, the Word of God says He became as a servant. And that to me is what it is all about. It is servant leadership. And so I take it in stride in terms of interacting with people. Some people may come over a little bit, what people would consider disrespectful. But then because I also have a counseling background, I tend to look at it beyond what is just seen and look at what is not seen. And I appreciate that, and then you try to work through it. But ultimately, I think that people do understand and appreciate the fact that you tend to reach out to them where they are with compassion.
More with Pastor Connor in a moment. Stay tuned.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I
just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the counseling center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Pastor Lincoln Connor of the Antioch Baptist Church, or ABC. He's here on Good Morning SKN to tell us about the rise of ABC here in the Federation. So ABC's motto is solid foundation, certain growth, which coincides with Matthew 7:24-25. How does this influence the church operation?
Well, as you asked earlier about the Sunday school and then the rise of the church, I think that even tracing the embryonic stages of the church back to the Sunday school and where the church is now, even as we celebrate 1 to 60, it demonstrates that if you lay a solid foundation, then growth will actually follow. And so solid foundation in anything leads to certain growth, even if you don't see the growth immediately because the foundation is there, like a strong tree with those well-buttressed roots, that go down deep. Eventually, the growth will come. So if you're going to build a skyscraper, you don't build a chicken coop foundation.
No.
Because you intent to go up like 10 levels eventually. Good. So you put the foundation. People can't see the foundation down there, you know, and they're like, what are they doing? And they're not going to make it happen and blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, you see the things start creeping up. Yeah. And so even personally in people's lives, in our vision, if you lay a solid foundation, ultimately you're going to see the results.
Indeed.
All right. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, the COVID-19, the pandemic, and the way that it changed everything, but not just everything, the way that it changed church. What did you do in your congregation to overcome the restrictions, the limited people in the building, that sort of thing?
Well, that's an interesting question, Jamie. And I've always maintained that the church is the people. And I've always been overcome by the persecuted church, in that I look at church not merely where we are, but on a global scale. And I look at how other people, you know, they are hiding to keep church, and they're on the run and all that kind of stuff. So I've always maintained that the church transcends the four walls. So that has always been something that our people had been instilled with. So once the COVID-19 came, it was not difficult for our people to appreciate that. Listen, we can't meet physically, but we are going to meet virtually. And fortunately, we had already developed a program. So we had equipment, we had, you know, the foundation. And so we were able to just turn off the physical meeting and meet virtually for a period of time. And ultimately, our people understood, because that has been part of our philosophy.
Well, I met with you virtually too. You just didn't know that.
Well, thank you. And lots of people meet virtually, like, you know, I mean, it's like everybody. Like, I'm sometimes walking and people are shouting like, oh yeah, this and that, and be like, what are you talking about? You said that on Sunday. Okay, you were listening. Yes, I'm listening. So thank you to everyone who listens. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I know you as Mr. Connor, because you're one of my teachers. So when did you decide to become Pastor Connor?
Girl in the womb. Listen to me. A friend of mine told me, like, you could not get away, not even if you ran. I had no plans on doing this thing. I always tell people that, you know, I grew up in church. I love church. I believe the church is one of the greatest institutions there is. I mean, with all of its flaws and shortcomings and failures, I still think the church is an awesome institution. And I say that because I know the power of the church. And even though I had grown up in church and my uncle was the pastor and the founder and every good thing you can think about, I had absolutely no interest in being a pastor. But I knew I would be in church. I wanted to do my own thing, because I always tell people I had two reasons I didn't want to be a pastor. One, they don't get any money. And two, people don't treat them good. Okay. So I'd be like, no, I'm going to do something where I'm going to get money and I'm going to live it up. Well, somewhere along the line, you know, as we say in church circles, the Lord called you, or He changed your path, or whatever the situation is. But you know what? Yeah, it just happened, and I've enjoyed it. This is my 20th year. Ooh, nice. Yeah, at one time I was teaching and pastoring, but I've always considered myself a pastor ultimately. And so I guess that's where that is. So I guess God knew in the womb, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I had plans, but He had plans.
Yeah, He had plans. He had the ultimate plans.
What was that? At one time you were teaching and pastor? So you're not doing both anymore?
Well, not in the public school. Of course, I still teach, but not in the public school. But I can tell you something too, Jamie, though, that I remembered when I started pastoring, there were folks who said, oh, you should stop teaching. And I said, no, I can't, because I haven't heard from heaven that I should. Yeah. But I knew physically and practically that I still should teach. And the reason being was because I knew that there was something I had to share with kids like you. And not only that, I also knew that solid foundation is something good. These kids do become, you know, great people eventually. And if I was not involved by a certain age, like, I would not be known. So now it's like all these kids know me, and they're grown now. So I'd be like, you know, everybody. So it works for the ministry. So it was up to a period of time, and the Holy Spirit said it's time to leave. And so now it's just a wonderful thing, because it's an easy transition. So oh,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
The 1 to 60 anniversary that you had, phenomenal, right?
Well, yes, we're actually still in the anniversary month. And so we had in the baptism on the actual anniversary date, the 5th of March. And then on Sunday, we had a focus on prayer on Sunday evening, which was tremendous. And when we went live, one of the amazing things was the first prayer request we got was from someone in Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Ooh, global.
yes. That was amazing.
Global.
And I met a friend some time ago, and he said, listen to me, I have some friends in Syria. So I was like, okay. I said, where did you say? He said, Syria. He said, Syria. He said, how many Syrians do you know? I said, Syria, like in the Middle East. He said, yes, they're in Syria. They listen to you every Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we did that. In Sunday coming, we are actually having our 1 to 60 celebration, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday the 13th. And we are also going to be doing our care package deliveries to the prison, which we do as part of our anniversary care package for all the prisoners with toiletries. And then later in the month, we have what we call our Spring Fling, and we close off with our Spirit Sunday. But it's 1 to 60. We don't want to say 59. We want to give people some prelude to our 60th anniversary, which is going to be really good coming up next year, all things remaining equal.
All things remaining equal. So in closing, Pastor Connor, what are some of the other plans of the Antioch Baptist Church?
Well, we intend to do more in terms of the technology and the virtual, because we realize that we have a big following on Sundays, but we also know that there is a lot more content that we want to get out to individuals during the week, because they consider themselves a part of the church, even if they don't come physically. And so that is an area that we are actually working on, so that we can get more content to them, and especially getting the young people more involved in producing that content, because they have a lot that they can say and they can put out there. So that is a big thing for us. We are also focusing right now on completing a prayer garden and prayer chapel in memory of Nurse Eunice Brown. She was our prayer leader, and so we intend to open that later this year. And as we look forward into our 60th anniversary, we are focusing on developing our human resource. We think that that is critically important, because there are lots of things we would like to see happen for our people personally. And so that is a big thing for us. So I just want to say this: when people say church like money and we want money, like we know what we do with the money, and we want to build our people. So there are lots of things that we want to do and intend to do that. I don't want to say here though, but we just want to let you know that you will hear that in the future, and we look forward to the continued support.
No, we won't only hear it, but we'll also see it.
See it, that's right, yes.
And you didn't tell us, for those who do not know, how do we find you online?
Well, we are on Facebook, Antioch Baptist SKN, YouTube, and of course, if we have an app, ABC SKN in the App Store, and our website is www.antiochbaptistskn.org.
Awesome. We've been speaking with Pastor Lincoln Connor, the last guy. Great conversation. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happen. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
Every weekend, mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492. Special Victims Unit 662-7077. Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. Kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. In December of 2021, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, Minister of Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development said, only when the creative sector is viewed as a sustainable business model and not just as a hobby-based industry can true growth and economic success be achieved. This, she said, while updating the nation on her priorities for her ministries. During this same discussion, the prospective Month of the Arts was announced. Now we are in the Month of the Arts. This is a visibility campaign designed to bring stronger focus to the creative sector within the Federation. Today, Keisha Isaac Adams, a creative and Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development, is here to tell us about this Month of the Arts and its upcoming events. Welcome, Mrs. Keisha Isaac Adams.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I have to always keep it straight, which capacity I am where, you know. So this morning, yes, I am the Assistant Secretary with the responsibilities for creativity. That's just like the nutshell of what I do, creating programs, projects, and everything to get the creative sector bolstered upward. So yes, as you said, this month is supposed to be the month of the arts, and unfortunately we had a little late start, but we are on our way. It might spill over into April, so the actual month of the arts isn't really a tagline that me personally, go around with, but it's a continuous celebration and encouragement and building up of the creative sector through different activities, campaigns, projects that you are going to see as we go along.
Let's start with one in particular, school visits.
Yes, so we have collaborated with the Ministry of Education, and we have started our school visits. We started yesterday, actually, with the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive, and I was so happy that they were the first because those children got vibes. You know, we went with Ruckus because one of the other things is that we're collaborating with local creatives because they have to be involved. Otherwise, what's the point, you know? So we have musicians and makeup artists. Your very own Sharena is going to be one of our creatives who will be visiting a school. And I'm hoping that she could get some of the boys involved in doing makeup, even on the girls, because we also want them to see that the arts is for everybody. There's no gender-based art form, you know, whether it's dance or painting, drawing, singing, whatever. Everybody is open for creativity. Creativity is for all of us. You know, we need, as a nation, we need to get away from the stigma of only girls dance or only girls do makeup, because in a conversation earlier, you know, Sharina reminded me that outside of our borders, a lot of, if not majority, of the artists in the makeup industry, hair industry and stuff, are men. We fight. Kortensia and I would have to be fighting for a spot to do makeup, even though we are the main clientele. We are not the main persons in charge of those things. We're not the main artists that do those things. So we want to get that out of the way. You know, dancing, it takes so much strength, muscles to be a dancer, a ballerina. Oh my God, have you ever seen the muscle outline of a ballerina?
Yes,
it's lean muscle, and it takes a lot of strength, coordination, you know, balance and all of those things. And that is a lot of brain power. And so instead of selling our boys on, you know, I don't want you in tights and those kind of things and whatnot, sell them on the other stuff, the good stuff, the stuff that actually help their development. And if we get them involved from small, better for us, because that's the talent development side of the ministry. We have to develop not just the existing talent, but the talent to come. And yesterday we were at Cotton Thomas, and Ruckus was interacting with the children. He asked them, who can drum? And we had a nice little boy. He's tall, but he's a little fellow. And he said, okay, give me a beat. And he started the beat, and it was so good. You know, a little while from now, the footage for these things will be released. But he started the beat, and then this other little boy, his name is Antonio, and he said he's a singer. And then Lucas said, okay, I'll do the rhythm. And they went through, you know, and they had a little jam session. And it's like, if you're at a party, what you want to do? I want to be the dancer. I want to be the singer. And one boy said, I want to look girls. But it was so much energy. And it proved that it doesn't matter how, quote unquote, intelligent we map children to be. At the end of the day, all of them have creativity, a part of their general makeup, and all we have to do is tap into it. tap into it. That's it. So that this morning, Tricia Greer has gone to Sadler's Primary. So we're making our way through. Yes.
Okay. The mural project. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, so the mural project is definitely a visibility type of project. So we have merged with Sustainable Development and the Department of Sports for some spaces in which we have local visual artists who are going to be working on these murals that are supposed to depict creativity. So it's called We Are Creatives. So we are supposed to see our creatives represented on the walls as you drive around. So there should be one on the Newtown football field, one in Keys Village on that wall right around the bend, one in Virchels on their playing field, and one in Nevis. And the painters who are going to be doing those are Vaughn Anslin, of course, in Nevis, Liska Bass, which you've had before, and Pierre Liebert and Darren Moses. Those are the artists who have been assigned for this go around. But later on, we have other murals that we want to get done. For example, we want to do a primary school mural competition and use up some of those empty walls that the primary schools have. So I'm putting out a plea now that any businesses who is willing to sponsor a school to get that done, we will be coming to you. So you have been forewarned.
Oh, so I now understand why they're paving the 2 walls in front of my house.
Yes.
In preparation for a mural.
First the cameras, now the walls. What else are they going to do now? They're going to paint your house now.
Plenty action at my residence.
Yes.
All right. So what other activities could you give us insight on?
Okay, so some of the other things that we would like to get done, I mean, you know, you can make plans and some happen and some don't, but the plans that we are currently making, one is some competitions. We have a story writing competition, poetry writing competition, and a cover art competition. And let me explain those. At the end of the story writing and the poetry writing competition, my hope is for us to take the top pieces and compile them into 2 books, a book of stories and a book of poetry, and have them published. And every person who gets in that basically would automatically be a published author, even if it's just 1 piece. And then for the cover art competition, we have 2 of those will be running. One will be for the story writing book, and one will be for the poetry writing book. And the winners for those, their piece will be on the cover of the art pieces, those 2 books that I just spoke about. And then the top art pieces for that competition will be compiled into a book in and of itself.
Interesting. Have you thought about the ages yet? The categories?
Yes, we want to have 2 categories running at any time, which would be 17 and below, or let's say 7 and up to 17. 7 up to 17, and then 18 and above.
There's hope for you.
Yes, it's open for anybody. It will be open for anybody.
I'm just saying.
It will be open for anybody. And, you know, we are hoping to have some really nice prizes, some nice little trophies, and hopefully some cash, and hopefully some other stuff, you know. We're getting all our T's crossed and our I's dotted to get it out there. And I think this is one of those things that would spill over beyond match. But like I said, that's okay. That's okay as long as it's happening. One of the other things that we want to do is have a panel discussion on the state of the creative industry, past, present, and future. Because I think there are some conversations that need to be had out in the public atmosphere. You know, a lot of the times we have these conversations when we meet in the parking lots, when we home, and, you know, when we at work, and we go, we don't like this and we don't like that, and we think this would be a better thing to be done. Now, the ministry was formed, right? And a lot of people have their opinions and their consternations and everything. And I know that a lot of persons have felt as though the ministry hasn't been hearing them. But, this is what I say right now this is me saying this. It's not that we don't hear. It's just that because there wasn't a very strong infrastructure in place for the creative sector to grow, then basically we have to begin from scratch. And the problem with building things from scratch is that you tend to make mistakes. And sometimes I find we as a people, we are not very patient with each other because of our own personal circumstances. And don't get me wrong, I understand everybody's cries, and especially in this COVID atmosphere that we've been going through for the last 2 years and everything. But it would be very irresponsible of us to just go full steam ahead without the proper foundation. And a lot of the times when things are quiet, it's because a lot of things are happening behind the scenes because we have to build a proper foundation. It doesn't make sense for us to go out and say, okay, Kortensia, come, do this, do that, and then we end up in legal trouble because we don't have our contracts down pat. We don't have those necessary things in place to make sure that your work is protected and all of those things. So we have to make sure that our foundation is strong before we just blast out into the communities. And I know people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that, unfortunately. But it honestly is what it is, right? That it will take time because it's more or less the restructuring of a whole society, of how we approach things, how we view things. Because we want to get the creatives from, like you said, being hobbyists or from just making a little change here to being exportable. We want to get them to the point where they are exportable. And for that, going forward, even beyond this visibility campaign, we are getting programs and workshops in place for training and, just for teaching purposes to get persons prepared.
Well, you're going to talk to us more about that when we come back, so stay tuned, everyone.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Thank you for staying tuned with us here at Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Keisha Isaac Adams, the Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development. Keisha is also a well-known creative and a founder of Nuance Production. As a creative, do you think that the relatively new Ministry of Entertainment and Talent and Development will stimulate the industry?
Firstly, it's new age.
New age, new age.
Everybody always gives it this French twist.
Yeah,
new age.
New age. Okay.
It's really just new age.
Okay.
Stimulation, well, that is actually one of our goals, because over the years, we found, and I probably might get some hits for this, but that's okay. As a former teacher, I think I am well within my capacity to say this, that the education system has become overly burdened with academia. And a lot of the things that I grew up with that made James, made us the persons that we are, was a touch of creativity within our schools, you know, but nowadays it's so heavy that a lot of the times the children can't get to express themselves, or sometimes not even play, you know, but learning through play, it's one of the best things, you know. I was 20 years old in Jamaica, in theater, and what were we doing in acting and voice and speech and movements and all of those classes? We were learning through play as big people. We were learning through play, doing role playing, all of those things to teach you the psychology of people. You know, the lessons were very heavy, but the mode in which the lessons were transferred from teacher to pupil, it was so much fun that you forgot that you were actually in a class. And then some of those classes turned into basically therapy sessions, because you played games and it accessed your emotions, and you realized that you had repressed issues and stuff like that.
You
so
did?
It's like, we all do, James, we all do. But the ministry, one of the ministry's mandate is and should always be for, to constantly stimulate creative energy and the creative sector in terms of moving towards business. The two must be married, right? You can't just have creativity in isolation, and it doesn't make sense having business in isolation. And a lot of us don't actually know the business end of stuff, but as a nation, I think we have to develop. For example, instead of having just general lawyers, it would be nice if we had one or two entertainment lawyers here. It would go a long way. You know, agencies, entertainment agencies, full-fledged agencies who can manage creatives, manage artists, musicians, and all of those things. That will go a long way. Unions would go a long way to ensure that artists get what they deserve. And I always believe that creatives should get what they deserve. I always tell them, regardless of which capacity I am in, I am a creative first and foremost. And I will always say, don't ever let anybody tell you what you are worth. Now, if you are willing to give a discount here and there, let it be on your terms. And don't be afraid to say no, because you have to maintain your integrity as a creative and cause the other industries to understand that you can't survive without me. You cannot, because the fashion people made your clothes. The graphics people made all the posters and all of those things that are around. Marketing would be nowhere without creatives. Everything depends on a creative mind. So we have to always back it. We always have to keep that fire lit.
I agree. And speaking of creators, I'm looking at you and I see your earrings and I go, wow, these are absolutely amazing and creative. And you mentioned Trisha Grow, Tricia Grow, right? Who's in school right now. She did that. She was actually
She does.
showing us earrings.
She normally does. I actually have a pair of her earrings. It's a king and queen. Yes, it's a pair, king and queen, one in each hair, which reminds us of our heritage, because we were not taken as slaves. We were taken as artists, and we were taken as kings and queens and artisans and craftsmen and builders. We were taken as those people and turned into slaves. So yes, I take pride in wearing my king and queen in my ears.
I love that, because it lends itself to what I have to say next, which is, in your estimation, do you think that creatives are given enough visibility, or is that a gap that the ministry is seeking to fill? And seeing that you're doing it in a strategic way nonetheless.
Yes, no, I really don't think over the years we've been really given that visibility that is necessary, because, for example, we don't have our own space. We have a lot of sporting facilities. We have all these hotels and all sorts, and we don't have a space of our own. We have to hitch up in community centers and people's backyards and schools and those things. And then before COVID, we paid the price and used Central Bank as our theatrical space. But at the end of the day, it's an auditorium. And even though I love the stage and the curtains and everything at Central Bank, because it's adequate for a lot of the things that I've done and need, it's still not a theatrical space, especially if you're sitting downstairs, because you have to around people's heads. You can't see.
That's one of the things that we're looking forward to as we talk about the month of the arts, and we unfortunately have time for just one more question. So that question, or that direction to you, would be to remind the public, that camera there, how we can get involved in the initiative of the ministry.
Okay, before I say that, really quickly, I forgot one thing.
Yes.
On the 21st of March, it's World Poetry Day, and UNESCO has charged all of us to commemorate the international days this year. And my ministry, along with the Department of Culture, we are putting on a spoken word extravaganza in Independence Square. It's the closest spot to National Bank on the 21st at 5 p.m. where you'll see poets, you'll get storytelling, a little drama, you'll get musicians with poetry, dancers with poetry. The main thing is for us to highlight our written arts and our spoken word arts. So back to what
you remind us how we can get involved.
How you can get involved. 1, come out to the events. 2, please volunteer when we ask you to. I know everybody would like to be paid, but for initiatives such as like school visits, I think that it should be our civic duty basically to pass on to our children without being asked for a monetary contribution in return. And trust me, when you volunteer up front, a lot of the times, it is noted. It might not come back to you immediately, but eventually good things always come back around. Let's cool down the temperature a little bit and just have a little bit of patience with the ministry and with each other, because I think sometimes we get heated because of our own personal situations, and it would pay us all a little bit better if we would just cool down. Don't ever be afraid to come to the ministry to ask any questions or give any suggestions or make any comments. We are open for it. If you don't want to talk to anybody else in the ministry, you can always come and find me. I am very much open to listening, and I always try my best to turn what you consider to be important into something. And like I said, it might not happen immediately, but I don't forget. I don't forget what you've said. I make my notes and I develop as I go along, and I push for things to happen. So bear with us, please, just bear with us. And I think that at the end of it, we'll all be better for it.
Thank you for coming, Assistant Secretary Adams, and taking the time to explain the ministry and the initiatives. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon. And to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit today?
Good afternoon. After finding a lump, I visited the health center to see a nurse. and she found a lump as well. Doc, do you think this is the big C? I shouldn't have cancer. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Nobody in my family has ever had cancer.
Slow down, not so fast. Not every lump of the breast is cancerous. The breast goes through a number of changes. It can be a piece of fatty tissue or some other non-cancerous lump of the breast. Either way, I'll have to examine you first to make sure.
Okay. I did not know I was supposed to examine my breast myself.
Yes, the self-breast examination is very revealing. It is the first step in diagnosis. It is important to self-examine your breasts once monthly after you've had your period. That way, you would know how your normal, healthy breasts feel and be able to detect any changes early. If any abnormality is detected, there are more defining tests such as the ultrasound and/or mammogram.
Mammogram? No, I've heard that mammogram thing hurts badly.
I'm sure that most of what you've heard about the mammograms are exaggerated encounters. Here's the referral. Take it to the facility. Before the exam begins, you will have to fill out a short pre-test questionnaire. Let the doctor know if there's a possibility of pregnancy. Leave jewelry at home and wear loose, comfortable clothing. Don't wear deodorant, talcum powder, or lotion under your arms or on your breasts, as these may appear on the mammogram and interfere with correct diagnosis. During the exam, each breast is compressed horizontally between two plates for imaging, and then diagonally for further imaging as needed. So how was the experience?
It's not what I expected. My teenage sister found a lump in her breast. Should she get a mammogram too?
All lumps of the breast and changes should be investigated. A mammogram is recommended once a year for every woman aged 40 and over, even younger if there's a family history.
OMG, women have to endure a lot.
Men have to check their breasts too.
Yeah?
Yes, some men do get breast cancer too. So remember, get checked today. Early detection saves lives.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by the lovely Keisha Isaac Adams. If you know Keisha, you would know that she is the founder of New Age Productions, got it right this time, which is a theaters art focus group. Well, we are now going to tap into her as well as our own acting skills by playing one-word charades. Here is how it works. We have a bowl of words here, and we will each take turns taking a word from the bowl and acting it out. The other two persons will attempt to guess the word, and the first person to guess correctly gets a point. Now, let's play.
I'll go first?
Yes, you're the guest.
The guest,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So we gotta guess.
I am more into directing than acting. I just wanted to put that out there.
The roles are switched today.
Okay.
I didn't see, don't worry.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Party.
Party.
Hey! Yeah, she met her friend. She danced, she had a drink, and then she met her friend.
Yes, very good. James, you look nervous.
chromosome thing.
Okay. Ooh.
You are combing your hair. You're getting ready to go out. You're washing your
wash
hair.
day, hair wash day.
You're at the hairdresser.
Nope.
You're showering. You are giving us the prompt of a really bad actor. I don't know what to say.
Come on.
That looks like she's brushing her hair. That looks like she's washing her hair.
Okay.
So she's washing her hair and brushing it. So
You're combing
combing
your hair.
it.
It has nothing to do with hair. How about that?
It does have to do with hair. She washed her hair.
She's braiding her hair.
It's not braiding. Braiding would be like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're killing me here.
you're shampooing your hair.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I was right the first time.
Words.
Hey.
I think this is throwing me off. I don't know what that is.
Really?
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
I guess
Do
you're
I
going to have to
tell
tell
them?
us.
A hair dryer. I switched from there. I've done washing
How
my
is
hair.
that a hair dryer?
This is a hair dryer.
Oh my
This is a hair
gosh.
dryer.
Thank you.
This is a hair dryer too, because I switch hands.
This is washing. This is
Because that's exactly what I do with my hair dryer. I shake it.
Not so quickly.
man.
You have to take. If you took time, like if you.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
like your hair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go,
I see your
James.
directing skills coming out.
Let's go.
I see that. Indeed.
Can I use props?
No. That's writing.
I love you.
Write. What?
Copyright?
No, there's an I in it.
I stamp.
Okay, he's writing something. Okay, that's a book. You're a writer. I write.
Oh my God.
I tried.
Anybody know what to say?
It's an iPad. And I tried. I tried a lot.
That's not an iPad.
That's I'm writing.
I'm writing.
Okay, guest of honor, it's your
Oh, we
turn
did it
again.
again?
This from the hairdryer lady.
Oh wow.
I can almost see your word, but anyway.
Did you see it?
Almost doesn't count.
Let's see if you're almost gonna get it right. Let's see.
You're that lady going to the market carrying. No, you're basketballing.
You're drowning. Oh my God.
You're obsessed with swimming, aren't you? Let's go.
Okay. You're hiding from someone? War? Wow.
You get war from that. This is so funny.
She's running away.
You're running away. Okay.
Wow.
You are avoiding earthquake,
You're avoiding drowning?
drop cover.
Oksana, these are hard, man. Oh my
Okay.
God.
No idea. You gotta tell us what it is.
Volcano, not an earthquake.
Oh, volcano run. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can
mountain
see.
blew up and ran
away.
I can see how this is a volcano.
No, that is a volcano that blew up.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my gosh. This one is hard.
I'm learning.
Let's see.
This one is
Who wrote
hard.
these?
Okay. I need a, okay, I'm gonna use the bowl. Oh my God, but I need the, okay, one. Okay,
No
so these
props?
ones aren't
You
used.
can't
Wait,
use
wait.
props?
No props. No props?
No props.
But this is then it's gonna
no
be hard.
prop. Oh, that's what happened to me.
Oh my God.
No cheating.
What else were you
Okay.
going to do? No props. Washing
You're
machine.
putting your clothes in the dryer. Washing
got
machine.
it.
You got it, Keisha. You got it. Machine. That was easy. And you needed props for that?
Yeah. Because I,
You too.
because I was gonna make this the glass and this the clothes. Oh my gosh.
Me?
Woman.
Me, Keisha? What, me? Woman? Me?
Individual.
Me, person?
Oh my God.
Person?
Artist?
Yes.
So
Keisha.
Guest of honor.
All right.
Okay.
Last one?
I got it.
I don't know how good my skills are for this one, but yeah.
Robocop.
Robot.
Kortensia, you go.
On it.
Your turn. I was close.
Ooh. Oh my God, you almost saw it.
I almost said it.
Horseback
You're riding
riding.
a horse. You're a cowboy.
You got one? It'll be better if you did that.
All right, so we're gonna take the scores now. Yeah, let's see. Do we have scores? Because I know Keisha got more than we did.
No, Kortensia won,
Didn't
I
she?
think.
We don't have the scores, so we're gonna give you when we return from the break. And unfortunately, Keisha, you won't be here, so you won't know whether or not you won. But
I think Kortensia won, but it was so good seeing you guys.
Yes, indeed it was.
And we look forward to
Indeed.
seeing you another time. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, bye guys.
You take
Bye.
care.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Tomorrow is World Kidney Day. This international campaign focuses on spreading awareness on the importance of prioritizing kidney health, thus reducing the impact of kidney disease on the world's population. Earlier this week, we spoke to nurse Ikersha Rollins to give us some insight on the importance of the kidneys in our overall health. Today, we are joined by Mr. William Chen, technical expert in the Health Promotion Unit here in St. Kitts. Join us in welcoming Mr. William Chen to Good Morning SKN.
Hi, morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Chen.
I'm good. My name is William Chen. I'm from ICDF, which represent International Cooperative Development Fund, and I'm the project manager of the capacity building project of metabolic chronic diseases. And this project basically is a 4 years project, and it's a tripartite project cooperation between ICDF, the Ministry of Health, and also the Taipei Veterans General Hospital. This hospital plays a consultation role in this project, and they usually provide professional recommendational strategies for these projects.
All right, so what can you tell us about how the project has been progressing?
Now, at the moment, because it started from 2020, and then last year, we do a lot of health screenings in order to increase the accessibility of the healthcare for the general public. So last year, we do around 4,000 person. So they assess. So this year, without the COVID-19 lockdown and everything, so we believe that we can reach a higher number of higher numbers.
So our Kidney Day is tomorrow. How will the project address kidney diseases in the Federation?
According to the previous project that we had, it's a chronic kidney disease project, and from 2017 to 2020, and then we found the data. I mean, we found that it's the CKD, chronic kidney disease, is highly associated with diabetes and also hypertension. So this is why this current project we extended to include the hypertension and also the diabetes, together with CKD.
Right. So, what are the outputs that we can expect at the end of the project?
The output, the overall scope is to strengthen the prevention and control system for metabolic chronic disease caused by this kind of metabolic syndromes. So to reach these targets, we provide training courses for the staff at the medical institution, and also we want to enhance the self-management abilities for the residents here in St. Kitts and Nevis to raise their awareness of chronic illness.
So, Mr. Chen, can you tell us how can persons prevent chronic kidney disease?
To prevent, there are some risk factors of CKD. Of course, I just mentioned diabetes and hypertension, and also if you drink a lot of alcohol or you smoke a lot, it's also a risk factor, and also obesity is also a risk factor of CKDs. So, and also high sodium diet. Yeah, high sodium diet is because sodium is a major component of salt, and it's also a reason that cause hypertension. Yeah, hypertension, of course, is also a risk factor of CKDs.
All right, so you are a technical expert. Your responsibilities generally, can you tell us what they are?
Myself is a dietitian, actually. Yeah, I'm a dietitian. Okay. Yeah. So basically, in this project, I manage this project, but also I work with the team health screening team. So at the end of the health screening, I usually provide a consultation, because we will get the results on the spot. So I usually play the consultation role. At the end of the screening, we provide some recommendations or diet advisories to the general public.
That's very important work indeed. All right, we'll be back in a moment to talk with you a little more. Stay tuned, everyone.
Sure, no problem.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Mr. William Chen, technical expert at the Health Promotion Unit here in St. Kitts. Before the break, we were discussing all about the project he's currently working on in the Health Promotion Unit. Now we're going to find out a bit more about his role. So, Mr. Chen, when did you first begin your post here in St. Kitts?
I arrived here in the end of 2019, and the project started. We started because at the beginning we usually have a stakeholder meeting. So basically, we started in 2020. Yeah.
So, did you manage to continue throughout the pandemic, or was there a halt of the program during that time?
Oh yeah, that time during the last year we do a lot of health screenings as well, because we just have a few months or a few weeks locked down, and the rest of the time we still do as much as we can to provide free health screening services, and also we provide the training courses for the staff at medical institutions for them to increase or to enhance their ability, care ability of metabolic chronic diseases.
Okay. All right, so you've worked on several projects here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, sure.
Have there been any that have been memorable for you?
Several projects, and
most memorable one.
Most memorable one.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course it will be my self project, and also do you aware there is an Inya Kitchen program recently in the Federation?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
This is the cookbook of Inya Kitchen.
Yeah.
So actually the team that we spend a lot of time that we are doing this program, we want to promote healthy eating in the federation. So and also it's aligned with SK Moves.
Okay.
SK Moves, there's 3 pillars in the SK Moves. One is eat healthy, and also do regular checkup, and also physical activities. Yeah, and this is one of the production of the healthy eating parts.
It's colorful and attractive, and it makes me want to eat what's on the cover.
I think I actually saw a poster with it, and I am going to admit on television, I stole the juice recipe and I have been drinking it there. Okay, will any activities be held by the Health Promotion Unit for World Kidney Day?
For the World Kidney Day, the following activities, we do have a few. The first one will be health screenings, because we want to, for the general public, we want to have them to know their better body conditions and also their kidney health. So we would like to encourage people to come to join us, and then to have their body screenings and also know their body status. And on March 10th, in Nevis, in Charlestown, Kortensia Mall, we have a health screening from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's for Thursday, tomorrow. And for Friday, we have a pop-up health screenings at Bastille, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and also Parkson Hospital in Sandy Point from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And also the next one will be in Keyang Health Center from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Yeah, that's the health screening part. And also the next week is the Salt Awareness Week. And I just mentioned that the high sodium diet and also hypertension is the 2 risk factors of kidney disease. So next week, the whole week from 14 to 20 is actually the Salt Awareness Week. And in this Salt Awareness Week, we're gonna have 2 activities. The first one is to teach the salt competition. So this competition that we're going to invite restaurants and also food vendors to compete to create a dish without salt. Yeah. So I would like to promote this activity here. So all the applications should be submitted before 14 March by 4 p.m. And also, Ministry of Health, in collaborate with ICDF, we're gonna provide prize for the winners, for the first winners, second winners, and third winners. And the first winners will get 250 plus the prize equal to 250. And the second one will get 200, and then the third one will get 150. Yeah. That's the first one for the Salt Awareness Week. And the second one is, and we actually, Ministry of Health and ICDF would like to invite the general public to challenge yourself at home to produce or to create a salt-free meal in the following week. So it's got some like benefits for the general public. So they can, for example, they can reduce the risk of hypertension, and also they reduce reduce the kidney disease and heart disease as well. Also reduce the possibility of water retention. Yeah.
Because of the salt.
So this is the coming upcoming activities for the World Kidney Day.
I love it. I love that cooking without salt challenge.
By the way, the first place of this Ditch the Salt competition, the first place the recipes will go inside this Inya Kitchen cookbook.
Wow.
Oh, nice as well.
That's great.
Okay, so you get $250 and then your recipes placed in the cookbook.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and this cookbook is actually the first cookbook published by Ministry of Health.
Okay.
Yeah, and it provides recipes and also educational materials in the end of the book.
Okay.
Yeah,
where can we get a book like that if we were interested in buying one?
Actually, we have a digital copy, and if you can always feel free to go on Facebook page to look for Inya Kitchen, and you will have the information on that.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for coming and enlightening us. I'm going to be challenged to ditch the salt. I've already ditched the sugar, so I'm ditching the salt next week.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
The salt is hard, but we're going to really try.
Sure.
We're going to try.
Yeah, it's going to be a benefit for you. Yeah,
absolutely right. Well, thank you for coming, and we'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, with the name for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. Saying kids, Nevis, don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat and you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Earlier in today's show, we spoke all about the arts with Keisha Isaac Adams, the Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Entertainment, Entrepreneurship, and Talent Development. So we are almost at the end of the show. It's now time for us to loosen up. Well, you would think that since we're getting to the end of the show, this would be the perfect time to loosen up. Just saying. And as we do this, we're going to discuss creativity and the role it plays in our lives, and then we're going to get ready to get a little loose after. So, creativity. Yeah. What does creativity mean to you, Kortensia?
Oh, what does creativity mean to me? I've never thought about that question. Like Queen Show vibes.
Hey, you never know.
I don't know. Expressing oneself in the best way you know how. Whether it's through art, you might not be the best artist, but you still go for it. And you do it. Dance. Well, I love acting, so technically I'm a clown, so
yeah, I can tell.
I can.
The love acting part, not the clown part. You guys believe me, right?
See, I got the cowboy on point because you got one. There we go. So yeah, creativity to me, those are my key points.
You got the washing hair on point too. So what role does creativity play in our lives? Creativity plays a very important role. As Keisha said when we talked to her, it's in everything that we do, from the equipment that we use to the things that we put on, to the car that we drive. Believe it or not, the vehicles that we drive, there's a creative element. There's an artistic element. There's so many things, functionality. So yeah, you got to be creative in that, and it goes to everything that we do. Can everyone be creative?
Yeah, in their own way.
Trick question. Right. Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I guess I would say that you define what creativity is to you. So that was my first question, was obviously important because you can be creative in so many different ways. All right. So for fields that are more analytical and math oriented, love it. How do you think creativity is incorporated? Okay. Do you want to take this or should I?
You can start.
Okay.
But I just figured something in my head. Yeah. Right.
Well, let me hear what you have to say.
For math, I'm thinking about the drawings that they color code, like the DNA stuff. Like it's like I don't remember the correct word, but it's long, the double with helix? A circle. The
double helix. Yes.
Yeah, and they just put them all together. So to me, that's creative. The colors. The drawings. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's creative. The whole nature of science, the whole nature of technology is to solve a problem in a new way or to use new tools to do it. So you have to be creative in thinking about what you want to do and to implement the solution. So creativity is in everything from the devices that you use. Somebody had to sit down and plan it out.
I know.
Do you ever wonder why Alexa responds to you? Somebody had to code that.
I know.
Unlike
she knows everything.
Oh, please, I don't even call her name and she's perking up. I'm like, next thing she's going to do is send my conversation to somebody in Alaska. And I heard that she did that before. That was on the news, by the way. An entire conversation she emailed to people whose names were mentioned there.
Oh my
Luckily, they didn't say anything bad, so be careful.
Alexa's just doing what Alexa does best.
Alexa is doing what Alexa helps me with my homework, so I love that part. It's like, Alexa, what is? This might help you.
Yeah.
So thank you to the creative people who created Alexa, Amazon. You're good. All right. How do you nurture your creativity? Do you nurture it, or do you just let it go unbridled? What do you do?
I let it go unbridled, and then when I'm ready to nurture it, I corral it back into
Like the kick.
barn. Yeah.
Just saying. You know, that's her signature. I told Kortensia that I'm going to dub her KK. Kortensia kangaroo, the spirit animal, or Kortensia the kicker. So my hashtag for Kortensia from this point on is KK. All right, hashtag KK. There you go.
How do you nurture yours? Tell me. How
Isn't it obvious? I embody humor. And I just let it out. I think it should be very obvious by now. All right, no, seriously. How do I nurture my creativity? I guess with practice, you take time to devote to certain things that you want to do. And believe it or not, there are things that I guess people wouldn't think are traditionally creative, but they really are. When you're sitting down to code, when you're sitting down, even just to solve a problem, you're sitting down to create a meal. You gotta be creative.
Yeah.
I know some people who were creating meals on $5 budgets. Some of y'all had to do that during COVID.
Yeah.
Some of y'all had to figure out how to feed your families, and guess what? You did it well because you were creative in doing it. So, yeah.
And even learn how to do something. We got the choice to go on Google. We got the choice to go on YouTube. As you say, if we want to cook a fancy meal like a restaurant, we go on YouTube. We plug it in, and somebody comes up to show us how to do it. And we be like, I'm better than the chef. So you see, you nurture it by growing.
It never worked for me. Just saying. Luckily, I didn't burn the house down.
So we do have avenues that we can go to nurture it as well, other than us ourselves.
Yes, that's true. That's true. You have that entire online community, just like church that Pastor Connor spoke to us about. Online community. Everything is linked. Everything gets changed.
Lincoln. Oh no. He's gonna get us. We can't get lashes anymore. We're grown.
Oh man, Lincoln Connor. LINK -ON.
Yeah, he's
there
not
we
good.
go. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So that is us talking about creativity.
Yeah.
Let us know what your thoughts are about creativity. You could always contact us at Studio 327 Inc. and let us see what you were doing to be creative. And if you know somebody who is creative and you think that they should be featured here, hey, let us know. Email us info@studio327inc. Follow us on Facebook and all that stuff, which we will do in a flash. But yeah, you can get the jump start on it. We'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
And we are back on Good Morning SKN. We're also winding down today's show. But before we go, we of course have to let you know what's happening. Ooh, the first one is really interesting here. Mobile kidney health screening, Kortensia?
Yeah, and we just had Mr. Chen talking about it. So tomorrow, Thursday the 10th, March 2022, is World Kidney Day. In commemoration of this, the Nevis Health Promotion Unit, in collaboration with Taiwan, will be hosting a mobile health screening at the Kortensia Mall from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So folks, you have 4 hours to go out and get your kidneys checked tomorrow at the Kortensia Mall. The screening will include checks of the kidney body mass index, that's your BMI, your height and weight, waist and hip measurement, blood sugar, and blood pressure. As you said, those two are some of the causes of kidney disease. While early detection allows for disease care and management to help prevent morbidity and mortality, and improve cost effectiveness and sustainability, kidney disease-related mortality continues to increase yearly and is projected to be the 5th leading cause of death by 2040. So let's cut back on that.
2040, that's not too long from now.
So go get screened. Kidney health is in your hands, so go out and get your checkup at the Cotton Ginnery Mall. Once again, tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please go.
Oh, come on, you need incentive to go? Here's the incentive for you. They're going to be taking your hip measurement and your waist measurement. By the time you're done, you'll know what you need to make a perfect outfit for the night, right? There you go, added bonus.
You got it.
So next on what's happening, it's the sports meet. Okay, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, this is in Nevis, presents its annual athletic, what am I doing? Athletic sports meet. I stopped with athletic and I'm like, wait, athletic. I should be more athletic, shouldn't I? The athletic sports meet under the patronage of Miss Leandra Brown. So the event will take place at the Nevis Athletic Stadium tomorrow, Thursday, 10th March, starting at 1 p.m. Awesome. Admission fees are as follows. Primary schoolers, you pay $3. Persons above 12 and older pay what, $5?
Yeah, $5.
Yeah, these figures here,
just $5.
These figures here are not akin with inflation, but that's fine. Akin to inflation, it's cool. I love the fees. There will be a $15 inside parking fee. Oh, this is where you get it. Yeah, you show up and you got to park inside. We can tack it on. If you use P2, you get away. All right. So sporting activities gradually returning to the Federation. This must be exciting, right, Kortensia?
Indeed, I think people looked forward to the sports days, so they're gonna be happy to go out again, even if it's just to dress up and show off your outfits. But I mean, something we need to reintegrate back into society. Basically, we have been locked in for too long.
Gotcha.
We have become more about ourselves, so the sports day will just bring us back out. As I said, even if it is to dress up.
I'm thinking that you are already anticipating yelling for your favorite house because your voice is starting to fade.
I know.
Like Kortensia is screaming in spirit. It's like, uh-oh.
See, I wear my color orange.
You wore your color orange. Okay. I don't know what my color is, but anyway, I think I'm forbidden from wearing it. And we know what that color is, right? I'm not saying anything. All right.
Color green.
Wait, what's that? The Kung Fu sign? Hong Kong Fooey, what are we doing here? I'm watching you with a kick. Now you're ready to give me some sort of Jackie Chan move. I don't know what's going on here. Guys, thank you for separating us, right? Because this would have been way too close. Kortensia's move here. So, yeah, we always laugh here, as you can tell.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you make us smile as well. So we want to thank you for joining us today. We want to remind you as well to follow us. And we keep saying that. You follow us, but you guys are here. You guys show up every day at 8 a.m. You're watching us live. And you've even told people about us. And we do appreciate it. But you know what? We need you to do more. So if you haven't followed us as yet, do it. We're on just about every social media platform. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram,
Twitter.
I was going to say Kicker, but hey, Twitter, Snapchat, and even TikTok. And you know, it's so easy to find us. It's simple. At Studio 327 Inc. At Studio 327 Inc. One more time. At Studio 327 Inc. Guess what? Great things come in threes. So you're going to like, you're going to subscribe,
and
you're going to follow us
for all this great content that we give to you every morning.
You got it.
Monday through Friday. Yep. So leave us a comment and tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next. And this is the part where we get a kind of a sad face, but not really, because we know we're going to see you tomorrow a.m. we know we're going to see you tomorrow again when you join us at 8 a.m. for more Good Morning SKN. Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.